tea tree. I smelled some of these prior to the show. Some of them are really nice. I'd love to share them with you, but you're over there in your home. Let's see, pepper black.
That's a really nice oil.
Now, what pepper black, is that listed here?
Mm-hmm. Under probably black pepper, actually.
Black pepper.
It's a great analgesic.
Appetite. Oh, so if you've not been hungry, it helps soothe your appetite, helps circulation, and quells vomiting. Quells, I'm assuming, means stops it or helps subdue it.
It's a nice oil.
I'll come up to the camera and see if that'll help. That is nice. It does have like a peppery, more like a ground pepper.
They don't always smell as you'd think they would because they're so concentrated.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I've seen them do this on like the TV show. On like David Letterman or something. Okay. Now, you're going to have to get really close to your TV to make this work, okay? There you go. Now, I'm only doing it that once. So if everybody sneezes... okay, I'll put this back on. All right. So, it's nice being your own producer. You can do stupid things like that. Let's see. We've got sweet birch. This was the one that reminded me, I guess, of the birch beer, the old root beer. Sweet birch.
It might be under black birch.
Black birch, okay. Analgesics, rheumatism, arthritis, and muscle pain. I guess almost acting, if you were to put it in a cream.
Massage oil.
Now, are these, can aromatherapy be used in conjunction with, well, obviously you can, you were just talking about, as a massage as well?
It's phenomenal. I think the two professions that benefit most from aromatherapy are massage therapists and estheticians. Because when somebody comes into them for a massage, they can create a personalized blend for that person, use it for the massage. Now they're creating an experience and an emotion, and they're adding an aroma to it, and they can give them that aroma to take home, to use in their bath, or to put on their pillow at night, and it will bring back the memory of how relaxing and soothing that massage was.
So while the massage itself is done, the scent kind of files the memory of the massage in their head, and it triggers the memory of how it felt. Interesting. See, all these things I'm going to have to start getting into. I don't think I've ever... It's really intriguing. It really is up there with... Now, this is not the only thing you do. While it's fascinating, I've never really knew much about it. I always envisioned like... probably the extreme of aromatherapy, and envisioning going into someone's parlor or office and seeing candles and bowls of potpourri and this overwhelming scent of, and just really, I don't want to say it, and I don't mean this in an embarrassing or insulting way, but almost hippie-ish, the nature of where the interest is becoming. It seems like we're taking, in a sense... Was this ever popular back in the 60s? I mean, was there a certain part of the population that at one point... Because I know it's starting to surge and become more popular now. But was there ever an earlier time where it was kind of as popular but just did not catch on?
Well, certainly in the 60s, people wore an awful lot of patchouli. And they burnt a lot of incense.
Well, they had to cover up the smell of burning hemp.
Right. They were into herbs, yeah. But now we're taking it to a new level and to a more professional level, and we're trying to gain a little respect in the field.
And I'm assuming that respect is coming slowly, but it's
very
coming.
Slowly.
But it's coming. Hi, you're on The Experience.
Hi, it's Jason. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
A long-time watcher, first-time caller. I want to.
He must be a guy from Sketch Karma.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I have a serious question.
Okay, good.
The whole show tonight has been about aromas and how they're calming and soothing. Now, what about like if I'm athletic and like I really want to get excited and motivate myself?
Flowing?
Is there aromatherapy for that?
Absolutely. There's certain essential oils that are very stimulating. More mentally stimulating than physically stimulating. Although if you did a rub with something like rosemary, not directly, in a carrier oil, and peppermint, it would certainly help stimulate circulation and get your blood flowing better. I often tell people who are cramming for tests and things like that to put a diffuser on with things like rosemary. Rosemary is for remembrance. Things that are very uplifting and invigorating and stimulating. And it helps them to retain the information, and then when they're in there taking their exam and they come to a question that they're struggling with, they have their little bottle of blend that they can open up and have a little snort during their exam, and sometimes it will help to trigger the answer. But yes, absolutely, there are oils that are very stimulating.
Now, was there a particular sport that you were involved with?
I play basketball, and although I lose, I'm looking for the edge.
Well, I'd be a little careful about rubbing some of this in the locker room with everybody else, but thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. That's interesting. I would not have thought of that either. We are talking primarily about relaxation, but as far as being able to, get the energy flowing, for athletics, it's a very, very good point. So there are some that can work in conjunction with massage. Do you do that as well, or primarily?
No. About the only thing I do is reflexology, which is working the pressure points of the feet.
Okay. Now, again, we started talking a little bit briefly. This is not the only thing that you do. You also have experience in herbal therapy as well.
Correct.
And that's another show topic as it is, as well as palmistry.
Correct.
We've done this show last year, and I've never met someone who... Well, I don't remember if I've met someone who did palmistry. I may have, but I don't. I'm fascinated by it, and we're going to have to try to get you in here for that. How long did you do that? What got you involved with that?
I always found it to be fascinating, and I happened to have a friend who would teach palmistry for the Boston Theological Society. So there came a point where I was actually fortunate enough to study with him, who was fascinating, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful method of getting to know people and to help them see themselves a little better.
Is it accurate?
It's a science. It has nothing to do with psychic capability.
Really?
Really.
We got a couple of minutes. Can you give me a quick...
Absolutely.
Okay. Which one's the cleaner one? Does it matter?
Oh, you want a reading right here?
Well, or if you could just... it doesn't have to be a reading, but just...
The stiffness of the fingers have to do with stubbornness. You're not a stubborn man at all.
You're being sarcastic.
No.
Really?
No.
My wife will tell you otherwise.
Well, you're not as stiff as I am. And the thumb has to do with will.
Okay.
And you're not real willful. So you have a nice clean palm. I see you as an earth person.
Glad I ran home first before the show.
A line is like a river. The deeper, the clearer, the cleaner, the better.
Okay.
When it's frayed, it means there's a lot of complications. So you have a heart line, you have a head line, and you have a lifeline. And palmistry has a lot more to do with than just lines. It has to do with hand shapes and finger length and spaces between fingers and mounds. And but the one thing that catches my eye about your life is your lifeline comes down, and then it stops, and then it starts again. It's as though somewhere in your life there was a major shift, a major change. Most of the people I see this in usually come here from another country. Mm-hmm. Something major has changed in their life. Their life has become very different and very new. And then it picks up. And it picks up on the outside of the original line, closer to the center of the palm, which is good. If it had picked up on the inside, it would mean you would become more of an introvert.
Okay.
So you've come out more. And then, of course, it continues, and it forks at the end, which means you have a love of travel.
Just not in airplanes. Now, obviously, when you had said that it's separate, obviously these lines had always been that way. They didn't just start at one or come to the beginning.
When you're right-handed,
yes, I am right-handed.
This is present, left is past.
Oh,
so,
wow.
No, it's not always been that way. Palms change every 6 months.
Do they really? The lines?
Only slightly, though.
Wow. See, I never knew that.
So, but when you're left-handed, it's difficult because we live in a right-handed world. People who are left-handed are ambidextrous. You have to sharpen your pencil with your right hand.
You have to write with the book facing a really bizarre way.
Right. It's more challenging for them. So, no, and all of your lines are very different than they are now. Life has become better for you.
Yes, it has.